Hello everyone. My name is Yusuf Edwards, and welcome to part 35 of the Abigail and Margaret Film School. Let us begin. Excuse me. So, Abigail is up and she's wondering what she's going to do about all of this mystery stuff that she has to solve about Princess Jennifer and of course her best friend's wife, Beatrice. What is she and her wife, Margaret, are going to do about it? So she gets up from her bed. She then walks to the living room to think about it further. And she sits down on the couch, and for a couple of hours, she is thinking about what she should do. In the midst of thinking about what she and her wife, she should do about this whole situation, she decided to call a detective from her local police department to figure this out. So that's exactly what she wants to do. But she doesn't want to do it right now because she wants to, relax and take her mind off it and think about it a little bit further as she's going back to bed. So she stays up for a little while. She watches some television, and then she gets back up from the couch. She turns the TV back off, and she goes right back to bed. She goes right back to sleep. After a couple of moments, couple more hours of her sleeping, she wakes up once again. She is determined to call to go to the police department so she can ask the detective for his help. So after that, she gets dressed. She leaves the house, hops in her car, and goes to the police department. She walks in, asks for the detective. He comes to her, and then she says, I have to tell you something. They go to his office, and she explains the entire situation. Now, a couple months ago, she says, or a couple of weeks ago rather, the princess, I assume, on behalf, one of the, no, she doesn't say that. She says, I was kidnapped by someone who wants me dead, I suppose, and I was saved. After I was kidnapped, a friend of mine was at a party and he overheard the princess and the wife of my best friend planning something very big. and admitting to kidnapping me. So that's how I know that, of course, the princess was responsible for my kidnapping. But a couple weeks later, I should say, that same friend who was at the party showed up at my house and told me what they were doing. And because I am inclined to believe my friend, I believed him, obviously. And my wife, we were sitting on the bed next to each other, me and my wife, and she had a thought. What if they killed Alpha Queen? Alpha Queen is of course, the multi-millionaire who has this production company called Alpha Queen Studios, and he died in the hospital. Now, my wife told me, my wife posed a question. That question is, what if they were responsible for what happened to him? So, I have a question for you. Will you help me with this? This is a very much a far-fetched situation, a far-fetched mystery. But I assure you, all of the evidence in my mind is there. I just need you to figure it out and to bring these two people to justice. For me and my wife and my best friend, and for the memory of Alpha Queen himself and his family, his wife, his children. That is all I'm asking for. So will you please help me? And then he says, okay, I will do it. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. No problem. I will make sure that these people are brought to justice. Thank you for saying that, because ever since my friend told me that this happened, what they were going to do, I had been very nervous to tell my other friend, who is the husband of the woman who's now working with the princess, to possibly kill me and others, and who may or may not have been responsible for the murder of my best friend's boss. Oh yeah, and before I leave, it is very much important to note that there was a car accident as well. I forgot to mention that. There was a car accident as well. You see, he was driving home, and then all of a sudden, a car hit him. So my theory is that they're not only responsible for his murder, but my wife's theory is that they're not only responsible for his murder, but they were also responsible for the car accident to make it easier for them to kill him at the hospital. That's me now. That's my opinion. That's my hypothesis on the situation. Just something to keep in mind as well. Then she leaves. She leaves him with that thought, and she goes back to his car, and she goes to her car. She opens up the door. She walks in the door. She sits down. After that, she buckles her seatbelt, and then she, of course, goes to get herself and her wife some breakfast. She hops out of the car after pulling up to the restaurant. Then after that, she gets her breakfast, or their breakfast, along with some coffee. She gets back to the car, and then after that, she goes home. Then she pulls up at the house. She opens up the door. She says, "I got breakfast," to her wife. Then after that, together, and then they eat breakfast together. I should have said the first time. I should have said that the first time. Anyway, after they eat breakfast, they talked about the mystery. Then after that, they, of course, sit down on the couch to watch television together. After a while of that, she hears the phone ring. She gets up from the chair once again. She goes to the phone room. She picks it up and she hears a threatening message. "Do you want us to do this again? Do you want us to do this again?" What again? She's not afraid. Kidnap you? Oh, that. Well, obviously they're cowards. What did you just say? And then after that, she hangs up the phone, unbothered and unfazed by the threat. Then she leaves the phone room. She gets back down. She sits back down on the couch next to her wife, and for the next couple of hours, I would say, because the African Company and the African Studio Network, or the African Network rather, had a marathon, like they always do, of this old sitcom from the 1950s, over in the 60s as well, playing on a loop non-stop. And they were watching that together. To be continued. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, leave a like, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment down below telling me what you like about the video or hate about the video, and I will see you wonderful people next time. Bye bye for now.